Today I want to show you how to diagnose your harmonic balancers on your GM or General Motors 3300 or 3.3 liter or 3800 or 3.8 liter V6 engines. The harmonic balancers failing is a common problem with these engines. What happens when the balancers fail is you hear a loud knock or clatter in the pulley area. And what you do to diagnose the harmonic balancer problem is you put a socket wrench on the tensioner pulley right here, the bolt, and you lift up the tensioner to relieve the tension off the belt, and after that you remove the drive belt entirely. And before you remove the drive belt, make sure you draw on a piece of paper how the belt is routed so you could reinstall it correctly, otherwise it's going to be a complete mess. And after you relieve the tension off the belt, remove the belt of course, and after the drive belt is removed, start up the engine. And after the engine started, if there's no clattering or knocking, that means the balancer has probably failed. What happens when the balancer fails is the tension from the belt puts tension on the balancer, causing the knock. Also, when the drive belt is removed, the next thing you should do is grasp the balancer with both hands, one on each side, and just rock it back and forth. If you could feel the pulley part moving just a tiny bit, that's also a clue that your balancer is shot. And what happens when the balancer goes bad is the pulley part separates from the center part, because the center part's rubber. The rubber part separates from the outer metal pulley part. The center part is a combination of rubber and metal, and the outer part is metal. And that rubber just deteriorates over time and separates from the outer pulley part, and that's what causes the knock. Meaning the outer part just slips instead of the outer part moving with the center part. What you do to inspect your harmonic balancers is you remove your passenger side front tire and remove the shield in between the engine compartment and the fender, and you look at the balancer up close. And if you see any rubber tore up around the circumference of the balancer in the center, where I'm rubbing my finger, that means your balancer is more than likely shot, because the center rubber part separated from the outer pulley part. GM requires a special puller to be used when removing the harmonic balancers off the crankshafts of these engines. That's bullshit. You don't need that special puller. What you do need is a regular 3-jaw steering wheel puller. And you need 3/4 28th inch fine thread bolts, long bolts, and you screw the bolts down in these slots 1/4 of an inch down so they're not protruding towards the back, possibly damaging your crankshaft sensor. And you're going to have to rotate the outer pulley part here as you're installing the bolts to align the holes in each slot. And also have enough washers handy so that way when you install the puller, you could inspect the puller to make sure it's level. You want a level puller when you're removing the harmonic balancer off the crankshaft. And also, before installing the puller, make sure you drop a 3/8 inch socket extension down into the crankshaft bolt hole. So that way when you install the puller, the center bolt of the puller does not damage your crankshaft threads, which could be a bad nightmare. Just to let you guys know again, I'm not a professional. I'm just giving you guys some tips out there. Maybe these tips could help you out. And that concludes this video. Have a good afternoon. Bye.